Nioh 3's new ninja combat style and open field design gives an already great Souls-like added depth. Of all the different Souls-like adjacent franchises out there, Nioh is probably the one that arguably already feels the most fleshed out. A leaner, faster paced take on the hard as nails formula FromSoftware first originated, it's never a challenge to feel powerful or like you can fight your corner thanks to having more flexible freedom of movement, a multitude of weapon types to wield, and countless cool yokai-based powers to fall back on. And yet, after getting roughly 4 hours of hands-on time with Nioh 3, it's clear that developer Team Ninja isn't planning on pumping the brakes on what's possible within the series. From what I played so far, Nioh 3 is a bigger, more ambitious take on its traditional action format, now given a grander scope thanks to the new ninja combat style and more open-ended level design. Crucially though, this is still undeniably Nioh. With time travel being a major component this time around, my Nioh 3 demo dropped me into the Bakumatsu period of Japan as an already kitted out version of new protagonist Tokugawa Takechiyo. From here, it didn't take long for me to get back into the rhythm of blocking, dodging, and batting away handfuls of awkwardly placed enemies, switching up my samurai stances depending on the exact combat scenario required, and casting guardian spirit skills to give myself some breathing room. So far, so Nioh then. Where Nioh 3 aims to set itself apart from both Nioh 2 and the original game before it, however, is in how levels are portrayed. Whereas before the series lent into the more corridor-driven approach the genre is known for, here Team Ninja has constructed what it calls an open field type of level design, where the emphasis is no longer on simply following a preset path dictated by unlockable shortcuts and optional pathways. Initially, I was worried that Nioh 3 would lose some of its charm and challenge as a result. However, an open world game this is not, and that'll be music to the ears of longtime series fans. Rather, each of the different time periods is made up of a multi-area map, one that can be tackled in various ways. There's the conventional linear path that will see you steadily fight enemies while trying to survive so you can get to your target, of course. All the while, there are various other combat opportunities sprinkled in that are totally optional but are almost always worth doing, since when beaten, they'll make your version of Tokugawa all the more powerful. One of my favorite types that I stumbled across are the new enemy bases, which are pretty much exactly as they sound. It's a more controlled area filled with a set number of enemies that, when taken out, either loudly or silently, can be overtaken and will unlock a chest full of even more armor goodies and weapons. At one point in my demo, I bumped into a cordoned off area that I assumed was just a typical optional fight against a harder yokai boss. What I didn't realize was that this enemy was just the first of various enemies that made up an encounter that more closely resembled a boss rush in a pit-like location. And it wasn't long before I was glugging down elixirs to replenish health and imbuing my sword with flame magic to give myself somewhat of a fighting chance. Nioh 3's new open field design gives this entry plenty more excuses to surprise, delight, and frustrate in equal measure, therefore, and already I can say I much prefer this approach to merely giving Nioh, say, the Elden Ring treatment. As if this wasn't enough of a change, Nioh 3 refuses to stand still again in terms of what combat options are available to you. The ability to switch between weapons on the fly, deploy different guardian skills, and change stances returns, but the one combat style these abilities are tied to, Samurai, is in a sense doubled in Nioh 3 thanks to the addition of the new ninja combat style. Much more than a simple gimmick, the ninja style rewards a much faster style of combat. Yes, even faster than how it is to play as a samurai. Swapping from one style to the other happens with just a single button press, and doing so works well to ward off an incredibly powerful move from larger yokai called burst attacks. Timing the combat style swap correctly will parry these, dealing hefty damage and leaving foes open for a barrage of follow-up attacks. Honestly, my only complaint about the addition of the ninja style is that it means there's a lot more combat options to remember, and there were already a lot to begin with since Nioh from day dot has been one of the most generous Souls-likes. For the most part, however, ninja style rendering Tokugawa much faster on his feet allows you to unleash attacks a lot quicker, all while still having to block and dodge for fear of not getting overwhelmed. In fact, there were times during my demo that I didn't really want to switch back to samurai, since it feels a lot more sluggish by comparison now. Team Ninja itself maintains that Nioh 3 can be beaten purely using either one combat stance or the other, and while that might technically be true, you'd be putting yourself at a disadvantage. I think it's worth mentioning that while the ninja style is more geared towards players who might desire a bit more accessibility from their Souls-likes, Nioh 3 is still no slouch. The core key pulse mechanic, in which you can claim back the stamina-like resource resource mid-combo to keep your character fighting strong is still satisfying to pull off. The only difference now is that using the ninja style will see your ki deplete a lot slower, contrasting nicely with the returning samurai combat style that focuses on far heftier attacks. One imagines that giving players so many fighting options in Nioh 3 is a difficult balance to strike, yet the Bakumatsu map still offered me plenty of challenge, and a fight against a gunslinger boss around midway through worked well to test my mastery of pretty much all of these. I came away from my extended Nioh 3 preview more convinced than ever that everything new Team Ninja has added only results in more combat depth rather than less. While there's still so much to learn regarding just how punishingly difficult the Crucible sections will truly be and how time travel will function in the story, the core fundamentals of what it means to take on legions of yokai as a badass warrior is still just as satisfying and mechanically complex as it always was. The new open field level design and ninja combat style increases the options for how you want to play, neatly tying into what the series does best without ever losing its core. Here's hoping this is a balance that can be maintained throughout the entire game. So there you have it, guys, in terms of our early preview thoughts after getting 4 hours of Nioh 3. Are you more excited about this game than ever? Let us know in the comment section below. And then why not subscribe to the All Out Gaming YouTube channel to stay up to date with even more videos like this. Until next time, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.